Welcome to All Business, No Boundaries, a collection of supply chain stories by DHL Supply Chain, the North American leader in contract logistics. I'm your host, Will Hayward. This is a place for in-depth discussions on the supply chain challenges keeping you up at night. We're breaking beyond the boundaries that are limiting your supply chain. Today's episode is the second part of From Cookies to Careers, Removing Boundaries for the Next Generation of Supply Chain Talent, which we recorded with my guest Tammy Wharton, President and CEO, and Jessica Martin, Program Product Director, both of the Girl Scouts of Ohio Heartland Council. Also joining us for the conversation was Tim Sprosty, Senior Vice President of Human Resources at DHL Supply Chain. Tammy and Tim, I wanted to spend a little more time on the subject of corporate partnerships with nonprofits. And Tim, starting with you, you talked about some of the purposeful thinking that we do as an organization around trying to find good partners for our social mission. How do these relationships sort of get started? How do you think about your objectives overall, evaluating if you're meeting them? How do you work with your partners to kind of be transparent and upfront about that?
Well, I think it starts, Will, with employee interest. So within our diversity and inclusion structure, we have a number of regional steering committees that, in essence, take ownership of the actions and programs at a local level. And we do try to find partners that our employees are engaged with already. Perhaps their children are Girl Scouts, and they're already doing some volunteer work. So it really does start at a grassroots level. And within our D&I program, we have what we call employee resource groups, or ERGs. And in many of the areas across North America, we have female employee resource groups that meet on a regular basis and say, how can we contribute to what's happening for the organization? And I think that's where this partnership with the Girl Scouts came about, because we are continuing to encourage females at all levels of the organization to come and work in our industry. And we have a very extensive college recruiting program and have seen great success in attracting females, that have pursued their college degree. But we thought this would be another great step to kind of go further in the talent pipeline. And as Tammy talked about, what they're teaching young girls in the scouting movement is leadership skills and skills that truly are transferable into industry, at all different levels, whether it be professional, white collar, and or, working within the warehouse. It was interesting what Jessica described. What they do is they set up a 3-day warehouse. They control the inventory. They assure the accuracy of the pick. They have quality control by the troop leader that's doing a count back or verifying that they're receiving what they need. They have a process to replenish what's happening as far as, I'm sure Thin Mints are popular and move a lot faster than other cookies. So you have to have a way to get more of that type of cookie off the trucks and available for the volunteers. And then, of course, it has to be set up with the proper accounting and ensuring that they do the proper collection of money for the product that is delivered. So no different than what we do kind of on a day-to-day basis, but we're fortunate that we don't have to do it all within 3 days. But it is impressive. But going back to your original question, I think our grassroots efforts said we should get engaged with the Girl Scouts. We have a lot to offer with regard to how logistically all that gets handled, as well as, dedicating time and energy on the 3 days where this cookie drop happens on a yearly basis.
Yeah, I was thinking as you were describing those activities and disciplines, it sounds like a day in the life at DHL Supply Chain.
That's right. So why not leverage our expertise, not only in actually moving cookies, but also in trying to establish, how it gets presented to the girls, and so that they understand there is a lot behind this, and all these activities are transferable to real life situations or on a daily basis, actually, as well.
Tammy, when you look for corporate partnerships, what types of things are you looking to accomplish?
Well, one of the things that we always say is make the world a better place. So we're looking at what are some of the industries that may be out there that one have role models in them that our girls can see that might not be your everyday role models. And I think that the logistics field is one of them. You know, you have many role models in the field, but a lot of girls don't think about what are some of the things that they could do if they decided that they wanted to pursue logistics as a career. Tim hit it on the head when he said there's a lot of activities that are out there that girls do, but they don't understand the transferable skills. And I would say even a lot of our adults do activities and they don't think about the transferable skills that they're learning every day. The Girl Scout cookie program has immense skills that are learned every day or every year as part of this program. And, you know, we have the distribution piece of it. And then you've heard me talk about the skills they're learning through the programs, the money management, the goal setting, the communication, which is probably near and dear to your heart, Will, when you're talking about a lot of these different activities and skills that the girls are learning. So, I mean, I think that our corporate partners, we want to be able to share what are some of those things that girls might not be able to be subjected to every year or every day, and how do we convert that into some kind of career potential opportunity or kind of unleash what they could dream of becoming.
We had a podcast earlier about women in logistics, and this partnership came up in the context of that. But one of our guests made the comment that, girls typically don't grow up dreaming about working in a warehouse, and just being able to take the blinders off or showcase what a logistics career really looks like and how, practically speaking, growing up experience like the cookie program can directly translate, I think is quite powerful.
Hey, Will, if I could interject.
Yeah.
Logistics isn't about working in a warehouse. Our work gets done in warehouses, absolutely. But the supply chain industry leverages really all the STEM disciplines. We have engineers that have to look at the big picture. In this case, Tammy indicated they have two manufacturers. The cookies are made kind of centrally and then have to be distributed to a fairly broad base. There is technology involved in making sure that those orders and inventories and forecasting that happens are on the money so that there aren't extra boxes or the wrong types of cookies available. Certainly, engineering takes a forefront in supply chain management. And in today's environment, the analytics and the mathematics are very important. And DHL Supply Chain is about digitalization and innovation. And, it really leverages all STEM disciplines, when you look at different career opportunities. So, this isn't just about working in a warehouse. And I know you said that somewhat lightly, but there's a lot of talented disciplines that make it look seamless, but are also bringing continuous improvement and innovation to the table as well.
And Tim, I would add to that partnerships that we provide or are able to garner give opportunity for sight lines to different jobs. To your point, it's not working in a warehouse. It's not driving a forklift, which when people think of logistics, that may be what they think about. But there are so many different aspects to a successful delivery supply chain that girls don't typically think about. And then to have female role models as well in those lines of business, it just elevates their ability to say, hey, well, I too can be in that career. I never thought of it before. So we're starting to build that workforce pipeline of the future by giving them a little glimpse at something that they typically wouldn't have had any kind of sight lines on previously.
Yeah, thank you both for expanding on that. I'm glad you took the bait on the question. Jessica, one thing we talk a lot about in the context of our business is innovation. You spelled out some of the ways that you innovate year over year with the cookie program. This year, I'm assuming there was a lot more innovation in response to all of the challenges presented by COVID. Can you talk a little bit about the things that are different this year and how you think you can maintain the continuity of the program despite, some of the distancing things and, everything that we're having to deal with COVID?
Yes, Will. This year's definitely provided some new challenges for us, but at the heart of everything that we're doing is making sure that our girls and volunteers continue to have a positive experience while remaining safe through their participation. We are lifting up and continued use of a digital cookie platform, which is an amazing opportunity for our girls to create their own business site and which they can customize with their own videos and photos. They can set their goal and share that site out with potential customers through emails or through postings on social media. We are seeing that site is a great way for girls to reach customers in a safe virtual platform and hopefully gain and garner the same support from those customers as they have in prior programs while maintaining that distance, not necessarily going door to door to collect orders or meeting up with their neighbors to write down those orders. But the digital cookie platform is a safe and really effective platform for those girls to share about their goals and reach more customers. One of the other opportunities that we're really lifting up is a new partnership on a national level with Grubhub delivery service, and we will be hosting some Grubhub booths in our council here in which troops can participate in those, bring cookies, and utilizing technology and a tablet. Customers will be able to purchase Girl Scout cookies through the Grubhub platform, and our girls will be able to pick and pack those orders and hand them off to a delivery driver who can safely then deliver those out to a customer. So this is a new pilot program for us this year, but we're excited about the opportunity because of the pandemic that we're currently in. The number of opportunities for girls to be set up in front of store locations or again, reaching those customers at their door has been restricted. And so we're looking for all kinds of new ways for girls to reach more customers and just making sure that we're maintaining safety for them.
Will, if I could interject, what Jessica just described is known in the industry as e-commerce. And it brings different challenges because, you have the ability to leverage social media, and it creates another distribution channel that you have to account for to ensure that you have another partner in the supply chain for the final mile to get it delivered to one's doorstep. So I think it's a great way to adjust to the times because all of us leverage e-commerce, I feel, on a daily basis.
Well, and just an example of how it's grown so much for Girl Scouts. Last year, we had 2 distribution centers, and this year we're up to 5. And some of it's COVID, some of it's with all the online purchasing becoming more prevalent. But again, we continue to see our e-commerce growing immensely each year.
Wow, that's a lot of growth. So to wrap up, Tim and Tammy, where do you see this relationship going in the coming year or two ahead? Where are you looking to take it? Tammy, I'll start with you.
Well, I'm hopeful that can continue to work with DHL and your women leadership group, not only for the volunteer opportunities, but also to help show what careers in logistics look like so that our girls can think about this for the future. Because in addition to teaching skills, we're about helping to feed the pipeline, the workforce pipeline of the future. We want girls to get great skills, but we also want them to be able to get great careers in the future. And to do that, this is where the partnerships start, whether it is a patch program or a national badge program, which we hope potentially someday to have in logistics. Right now, we're just starting to connect DHL to not only our council, but other councils around the country, because it is such a great partnership. And it starts locally a lot of times, but again, we hope to grow this into a national partnership with some skills that our girls are going to learn along the way.
Super. Tim, how do you and your team think about it?
You know what? I think Tammy summarized it extremely well in that it is about encouraging females around opportunities that are available in what historically has been a little known industry. We do want to influence the future pipeline of talent. She mentioned that while it started as a grassroots effort in Ohio and Michigan, there are other councils out there where we feel we can contribute to improving their distribution networks and the way they handle not only the cookie drop, but also developing the right programs to let young girls understand supply chain and the logistics industry. And, I think that's very advantageous because we continue to grow. It's a part of everyday life. And when you have the skills, it's an excellent way to demonstrate and make a big impact on the world around you. So, as Tammy mentioned, that will come with not only volunteer hours, but also assisting in the development of curriculums that, speak to logistics and supply chains or badges or, things that people can learn the kind of the behind the scenes stuff of the cookie drop and, really understand that DHL Supply Chain as the leading supply chain organization in North America, that there's opportunities here.
Great, thank you. And Tim, for those listening who are intrigued by what they heard about supply chain careers and opportunities, where would you suggest they look next for more information?
We have a website that lists all of our openings here in North America, and the website is Work for DHL, and you spell out for FOR DHL.com. So people can apply online. And again, you can filter opportunities, by state and zip code, and or join our talent communities that will notify you of openings that you're interested in over time.
And Tim, I would say some of our cookie experts that are working with our girls may be great candidates to look to DHL for possible opportunities.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Tammy. I mean, we're always looking for talented people, and certainly your Girl Scout leaders have leadership skills. We're getting more and more into flexible scheduling or on-demand scheduling, so it may provide what your volunteers and others that assist in supporting your programs with the flexibility needed in their lives, as well as provide some additional income.
If you enjoyed the conversation today, please share it with a friend and rate us on Apple Podcasts. You can find us online at dhl.com/allbusinessnoboundaries and follow us on LinkedIn and Twitter at DHL Supply Chain. We'll see you next time.